What's up, Weekend Warriors? It's week 8, and I am traveling. I'm in Texas right now, but for the people, the commission's here. Got a lot to do out here, but gonna take a couple minutes and give you guys the week 8 predictions. So last week we had a special guest, Frank, on the show. Thank you, Frank, for joining the show. He had some good calls. He had some bad calls, but Josh Jacobs, man, he said was going to have 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. He said he was his number 2 running back on the week, and he delivered. He was actually the number 1 running back on the week. He also liked Washington plus 4.5. They beat Green Bay. He liked Hopkins Thursday night to get his over. Unfortunately, him and I liked the under Thursday night, and 2 pick sixes later, the over hit in the first half. So can't get them all right, but appreciate Frank joining, and he's a new friend of the pod. Let's continue to recap last week here for a second, because I had another 2-5 effort here for my picks, and 2-3 record for my 5 picks, and thankfully I picked Valone to beat me, or I would have been 1-4. So Valone beat me handedly, wasn't even a game. I picked Otley over Brett, and Brett pulled the upset. I think he scored 88 points and won. Brett texted me and said, you scored the same amount of points as me, but I won, you lost. It's that kind of season for me right now. But Otley also texted me and said, don't pick me to lose. Don't pick me to win ever again. Pick me to lose. So the 6-1 Otley's puffing his chest out. He's saying, Commish, pick me to lose. Jake over Chris, that happened. Chris put out a Island of Misfit Toys squad and got squashed by Jake, who was the high scorer of the week for the second week this season. Jake, man, he was lying in the tall grass. Valone picked him out with some binoculars. He's out of that grass now. He's front and center in the leaderboard, and also, just everybody's on high alert. Also, I picked Pearson over Terry. Not sure why I did that. I had more points than Terry, and I'm 1-6, and Terry's 4-3. He finds ways to win, and Pearson finds ways to lose, like myself. Should not have picked Pearson. Dean over Kevin. Dean had a great week. He just ran into the buzzsaw. Kevin scored a lot of points. Good pickup with Titans defense. I think they got 19 points or so. Came down to Sunday night. Dean had a shot, but Kevin hung on and won. So 2-3 on the week. 19-16 for the season, and I'm upset to tell you guys I went 0-2 in my NFL picks. I picked the Niners +3 at home against the Chiefs. That was before the McCaffrey news. You would say, Ty, they got McCaffrey, they should be better. Yeah, but that was kind of clouding the week and, taking away from some of the game plan stuff. I don't know if I would have picked them still, but that's the nature of me giving picks on Wednesday or Thursday. Things change, so I'm 0-2. And that makes me 9-5 on the season. I had some room to give away some wins. I want to keep my nice clean record, and we're going to bounce back this week. So now's the time to jump on, because I'm about to get hot again, or I can stay cold. We'll see how much you trust the commish. So moving on to week 8, I'm coming out of my gate right now with my Thursday night pick. I'm going to recheck the line because I haven't checked it in a little bit yet. It's still the same. I'm going to take the Bucks +1.5. One of my strategies coming into the season was take the team that looked the worst last week in the NFL, take them this week, and vice versa. Somebody who looked really good, maybe go against them. And I have kind of utilized that in the past in some other picks. And Tampa Bay looked horrible. Baltimore looks pretty good. They look solid all season. I just think it could be an ugly game. Maybe Tampa Bay's defense steps up again. Maybe they don't get it done on the offensive side, but I just think Tampa Bay takes care of business at home. Everybody's calling for Tom Brady. He's dead. He still may be. But I'm taking the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football +1.5. That's my official pod pick, and I'm the Thursday Night King. Last week was week 7. It was the first time I lost since week 1 on Thursday night. So take that for what you will. I left my crown at home. They wouldn't let me take it through security, but I am the Thursday Night King. I'm the content king as well. But tonight I'm the Thursday Night King. Buccaneers +1.5. I'll give you my other NFL pick in a little bit. So let's move into the matchups. Like I said, subpar week last week, clinging to a winning record, 3 games above 500. And there's so many crappy games on our slate this week. I'm not picking a matchup of the week because it would not do justice to the matchup of the week for as bad as these matchups are. So we're going to start here. First matchup is Chris T versus Terry. Chris is coming out. He's not guaranteeing a win. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said, "Whoever I play this week, look out." Last week he had a gun with no bullets in it. This week he's got a bazooka. He's got Josh Allen back. He's got Stephon Diggs back. They're playing at home against Green Bay. He's got McCaffrey with another week integrated into his team. So I agree with Chris. Look out. I think he is going to have a good week. And he's playing Terry, who, like I said, just kind of muddles through wins. He has not scored a ton of points. He's predicted to score 99 points as of this minute. ETN on his team is getting stronger with the trade of James Robinson away. Montgomery's getting weaker with Khalil Herbert coming into the fold. And, he's got Justin Jefferson back off a bye, but Andrews is the big question mark. Is he healthy? Last week went out there and scored 0 points. Still the number 2 tight end on the season. He's a great player. But if he's out there dogging it, it's not going to do it for him. Chris is back to full strength. Terry's taking advantage of a good schedule. Terry can still stay in the hunt and push for that last playoff spot, but I just think Chris is a juggernaut. I'm taking him to win here. Don't get cute. That's my philosophy here in Week 8. Moving on to the next matchup, Dean versus Otley. Maybe this would be the matchup of the week if I was giving it the matchup of the week honors, which I am not. However, we've talked about Otley's team. He wants me to predict them to lose. He's getting Dalvin back. He's at home against the Cardinals. It's a nice week, or nice matchup. I think Jackson tonight against Tampa Bay is a huge matchup for Ott. Jackson has slowed down. He scored 11, 12, 13, and 7 over the last 4 weeks. The first 3 weeks he was 21, 47, and 45. Carrying Otley to wins and now kind of letting him down. Dean, just hasn't. The weeks he scored a lot of points, he's lost. The weeks he scored little points, he's lost also. The only one he has one win. It was me when he scored 170 points against me. So he's done a good job putting a team together with Herbert on bye. He's got Cousins in that same matchup as Cook. So if he can throw a few touchdowns instead of handing him off to Dalvin, but he's got some tough matchups. Najee in Philly, Aaron Jones in Buffalo. Josh Jacobs has been an absolute stud. He's going to have to carry him to a victory, and I think he can. But Otley, I'm going with you. I know you hate that, but I can't take Dean. He's 1-6. You're 6-1. I'm not an idiot. Don't get cute. The replacements to beat the Harding Dynasty Part 2 and pretty much put Dean out of his misery and fighting for not last place and fighting for high score of the week. Moving on to the next matchup, Pearson's father, Kevin, versus Jake. Kev is decimated. He had Breece Hall get injured, and he looked like a stud. David Njoku, injured. Jamar Chase actually came out of the game last week for a small time. He was injured, but you got Hilaire on bye, Keenan Allen on bye, Dobbins on IR. His team is eating injury bugs right now. And on the other side of the coin, Jake keeps getting stronger. You got Hopkins back now. Kenneth Walker Jr., congratulations to you, Jake, and anybody who drafted Kenneth Walker Jr. or picked him up, I guess. Just an absolute stud. Could be a league winner. And to have him paired with Barkley and Henry, I mean, geez. Henry at Houston. Jacobs just ran for 150 and 3. Watch out for Watson's Bath and Spa. He takes down Kevin easily this week. And, Kev did get a big win last week to get to 3-4, but he's got some work to do after a loss this week that I'm projecting to get his team healthy and to win some games. So that brings me to an interesting matchup. Voodoo Magic versus Mga. And Vallone's team is great. I've raved about it all season. He beat me last week. He's 5-2 in second place with the most points in the league. And Pearson is 1-6 with the least points in the league. But Vallone without Patrick Mahomes this week, without Austin Eckler this week. Two very key players, and we know he lost Hollywood Brown a week before. He's got Mahomes still in his lineup with no quarterback on his roster, so he has some work to do. And his receivers are still strong. Lamb, Waddle, Olave, and Debo, very, very nice. If Pearson's going to win, this is the week. Stevenson against the Jets, he's now the guy, it looks like, for the Patriots. Harris will still be involved. Mixon at Cleveland, a horrible rush defense. Two really good matchups. DeAndre DeAndre. Devontae Adams at New Orleans, great matchup for him. The Saints can't stop anybody right now. And Amon-Ra should be back to healthy for at least the first snap, and we'll see what happens. So, and he might have a Zeke-less Pollard, which could be a firecracker. I should take Pearson in this game. It's almost actually an upset to take Vallone. I am not taking Pearson to win because, like I said earlier, he finds ways to lose. Vallone will find a way to win. It's lucky Vallone. I've rode Vallone all season, no pun intended. I'm sticking with Vallone. I'm sticking with Emga. He finds a way to win. And Pearson, at least, I think, in the meantime, stays in the basement. So that brings me to my last matchup of the week. It's me versus Brett. Brett, another guy who's taking advantage of a fortuitous schedule. 15 more points than yours truly, 3 more wins. But hey, he's doing. You can't pick who you play. He's riding his schedule. He's riding the wave, feeling the flow. He's got a good team. He gets Hurts this week back off a bye. Another week where Taylor can rest up. Kamara in a great matchup against Vegas. Tyreek Hill has been absolutely insane. He leads the league in receiving yards. So, he's got a great team. How do I win? Well, I picked Tampa Bay to win tonight. That's not biased because, quite frankly, even if I win, I think I'm still out of it. But I do think Brady has a better day. Can Godwin actually do something? He's has no touchdowns on the season. I don't know what I would do if one of my guys scored a touchdown. Do I celebrate? Do I rejoice? I don't score touchdowns. Last week, Mike Williams scored a touchdown. He immediately died because I'm not allowed to do that. So how do I win? I got Cooper Kupp back. I made a good pickup and stash of Gus Edwards, but he has a tough matchup tonight. Michael Pittman, also allergic to the end zone, so I just need some of these guys who are due to step up. It's possible, but unlikely. I'm taking Brett to beat myself. I'm in the garbage can. I'm in the dumpster. Brett, I hope you lose. ESPN says you have a 62% chance. I'd say probably higher than that. I'm taking Taylor Ham here in week 8. And I will say, Brett and Kevin and Terry right now are kind of on the outside looking in. And I would say Brett's closest to the window. I think that those guys can all make a playoff push. But it's clear to me that the top 4 teams, Otley, Vallone, Jake, and Chris, are head and shoulders above the rest of the league and are favorites to run away and make it to the playoffs together. So Brett, Terry, Kevin, you all need to win now and try to close that gap. Start licking the glass, Brett, and get closer. My other pick, a little sexy maybe. Again, I'm going my same theme with a team that looked good last week, might look bad this week. In the same game versus Tampa Bay, Carolina scored a bunch of points. They go to Atlanta. I'm taking under 41.5. That's 2 teams that can't score. Atlanta leads the league in rushing attempts, and they just run even if they're down 20 points. I think it's going to be like a 24-6 or 24-10 kind of game. Even if it's 24-14, that's 38 points. It's 41.5. I'm taking under 41.5. That's a line where they're daring you to bet the over. I'm going under, and I'm going to try and go 2-0 this week, boys. So, listen, I got to get back to work. I got to get some stuff going on. I will see you when I'm back in New Jersey, and go Phillies. Take care, y'all.